High in the Bolivian Andes, Puma Punku stands. A ruin so precise some say it defies explanation. Massive blocks, perfect angles. History claims stone tools. But is that the whole story? Now, AI has re-examined the site. Every scan, every photo, every measurement. Over 12 terabytes of data. The result? The AI reconstructed Puma Punku and revealed a darker truth. Puma Punku, impossible yet real. Why Bolivia's Altiplano? A harsh, high plateau. Puma Punku has baffled experts for generations. This isn't just another ruin, it's considered too advanced for its alleged builders. Start with the basics, its construction. Red sandstone, tough andesite. The Tiwanaku culture supposedly used stone hammers and bronze. Carving andesite with those, almost impossible. Yet they did more than carve. They engineered massive stones, 131 metric tons. Moving. That? Theories say wooden rollers, but the site, above the tree line, timber from far below. A simple explanation? Not so simple. And the precision. Forget crude stonework. Puma Punku looks machined, 90-degree angles, smooth surfaces. H-blocks, identical andesite pieces. Complex angles, slots, grooves, like factory parts, interlocking like giant Lego bricks. Channels for molten bronze clamps, advanced metallurgy. A razor blade might not fit. Now, but the precision is still shocking. So, questions pile up. The engineering knowledge, the tools, moving stones heavier than a whale, traditional Puma Punku theories, crumbling. The mainstream story, Tiwanaku pounded andesite with stone and bronze, polished with sand and water. It can work for one small block. But what about hundreds of tons, uniform, repeating, interlocking? Over 1,500 years ago, the pace is too slow, the scale too immense. Either a workforce rivaling modern construction or something's missing that gap. Alternative theories, liquid stone, geopolymers. Tiwanaku dissolved andesite into slurry, poured it into molds. Explains the sharp angles, except geologists reject it. Mineral signatures show no reformation, natural quarried stone. The debate, weak traditional explanations versus wild outsider theories. Then came a new approach, no assumptions, just evidence. The Altiplano Project, universities from Bolivia, Germany, Japan, and the US. 5 years, collecting data, laser scanning to the micron, ground-penetrating radar, chemical analysis of metal traces, satellite imagery for quarry routes. Astronomers checked star alignments, 12 terabytes of information. A digital time capsule. Then, the AI, no instructions. Just reverse engineer the site, no bias, just data. Angles, alignments, tool marks, composition. Rebuild Puma Punku logically. The goal, a hidden system, a design language, a workflow, a hidden plan. Maybe a machine could see what humans missed, the AI revelation. The AI didn't care about reputations or legends. It saw data, vectors, traces, ratios, coordinates. From that chaos, Puma Punku rebuilt itself. For centuries, archaeologists guessed at the original buildings. But guessing? Bias. The AI? No such problem. Tool marks and fragments matched. The result? Not. A simple courtyard. Puma Punku. A massive, multi-level marble-raised platform. Interior chambers, gateways, corridors, complex channels. Channels so precise, water flowed at specific rates, forming shallow pools, reflecting the night sky. Ceremonial observations, water as a giant mirror. But the most shocking thing, not appearance, process. Puma Punku wasn't built randomly. It was manufactured, like a modern car factory. Interchangeable modular components, 45 H-blocks carved from a single master template, spacing, angles, recesses, identical within thousandths of an inch. Standardization, an assembly line. The AI identified 19 core block types, repeating across the site. Walls, gateways, terraces, water systems. Puma Punku, Not random masonry, a giant construction. Kit, centuries before prefabrication. Then the AI ran analysis, geometry, the golden ratio, doorway heights, slab widths, gateway distances. The builders wanted more than just a structure. They wanted sacred geometry, architecture against solar and stellar alignments matched too. Solstices, equinoxes, constellations, polar star paths, lunar standstills. The night sky as seen around the 6th century AD Puma Punku wasn't just ceremonial. It was an astronomical machine, a clock for centuries. Then it got darker. Astronomical alignments and mathematical constants. Puma Punku? Not just observation, but prediction. Simulating heaven's movements, detecting a repeating cycle. Rare cosmic disruptions, meteor showers, asteroid debris, cometary returns. Threats to Earth Puma Punku, a warning mechanism recording cosmic danger, alerting future generations. The AI then analyzed the destruction. Not earthquakes or looting. The debris field? Something more violent and sudden. Kinetic force calculations, consistent with explosive airbursts or catastrophic flooding. The very event the site predicted could have destroyed it. The revelation shook researchers. No aliens, no science fiction. Something scarier. Lost human intelligence. A culture 1,500 years ago. Engineering and astronomical understanding rivaling today's advanced levels. Modular construction, prefabricated stone, time-tracking devices connected to the heavens, and then they disappeared. No gradual decline, no manuals, no successor copying them. The knowledge ends, silent ruins, scattered clues, a global pattern. Of impossible stones, Puma Punku isn't alone. Zoom out. It feels like part of a bigger, stranger story. Megalithic sites worldwide share similar qualities. Massive, unmovable stones, precision cuts, astronomical alignments, coding knowledge into stone. Machu Picchu in Peru, the lost city in the clouds. Walls of granite blocks that lock perfectly. No mortar, no cement. Raw stone, uncanny precision. Supposedly built later than Puma Punku, but the stonework echoes older sites. Independent invention or inherited techniques? Puma Punku forces the question, hauling multi-ton blocks up a mountain. Wild? Baalbek in Lebanon, the Roman temple complex of Heliopolis. The trilithon stones, 800 tons each, heavier than a 747. The stone of the pregnant woman, over 1,000 tons. Modern cranes struggle to lift it. Ancient engineers supposedly cut, shaped, and transported it. How? No one knows. Romans or predate Rome? Another site defying history's boxes. Göbekli Tepe in Turkey rewrites the timeline. 11,000 years old. Before writing, agriculture the wheel. Yet, perfectly carved T-shaped limestone pillars, 20 tons, circular enclosures, detailed animal carvings, simple hunter-gatherers. Göbekli Tepe proves otherwise. Organization, astronomical awareness, aligning with celestial events. Knowledge appeared earlier than taught, then got lost, resurfacing thousands of years later. And Egypt's pyramids, the Great Pyramid of Giza, aligned almost perfectly to true north. Over 2 million limestone blocks, 15 tons each, transported and set with impossible precision, encoding mathematical constants like pi and the golden ratio, aligning with Orion's belt, not random, designed with purpose, knowledge, obsession with the cosmos. Machu Picchu, Baalbek, Göbekli Tepe, the pyramids, and Puma Punku, different continents, cultures, centuries. Yet, impossible stonework, perfect geometry, linked to the heavens, independent discoveries, or fragments of something larger. A global legacy of lost science, breadcrumbs through time. This is where Puma Punku gets chilling. The AI reconstruction shows it wasn't random blocks. It was a system, planned, modular, mathematical, like the Great Pyramid or Göbekli Tepe, but with greater precision and prefabrication, operating in a mindset closer to modern engineering than ancient trial and error. The hook, Puma Punku, blows the doors off the debate. Unlike other sites with cultural continuity, Puma Punku doesn't fit neatly. The Tiwanaku may have used it, but didn't build it. So, who was the architect? That's the uncomfortable truth. Puma Punku might be the missing piece of a global puzzle, proof of a civilization capable of things we barely explain. Their fingerprints scattered across the world as impossible stones. The new reality and the bigger question. If the AI is correct, Puma Punku is no longer an interesting ruin. It's the fossilized imprint of a forgotten science. Scattered stones. The last surviving record of knowledge that rivaled, even surpassed our own. That's what rattles people, not just construction skills. Looking at Puma Punku, we're staring into a mirror, reflecting ancient achievements and ancient fears. Maybe these stones aren't ruins. Maybe they're a message, the chilling question. If they were that advanced, where did they go? How do you vanish without a trace? For decades, built by the Tiwanaku around the 6th century AD, but the evidence? Less convincing. The AI suggests the Tiwanaku inherited Puma Punku, not created it. Archaeologists see strange layering. Tiwanaku remains on top of the megalithic foundations, came later, using the site, not understanding or building its core. So if not the Tiwanaku, then who? And what happened to them? The most straightforward explanation? The most brutal? Nature, the altiplano, earthquakes, floods, weather shifts. Geological surveys show seismic activity. The stones scattering, sudden, almost explosive flooding. Ancient shorelines around Lake Titicaca. Water levels far higher. Catastrophic meltwater floods, tearing apart walls, flipping stones, drowning people. A cosmic impact. Around 536 AD, a global dust cloud. The sun gave forth its light without brightness. Tree ring data shows cooling, volcanic eruption, cometary airburst. Puma Punku's destruction tied to that catastrophe. The AI suggested the scattering resembled an airburst, like Tunguska in 1908. If Puma Punku was a cosmic observatory, maybe the disaster they warned about arrived, but maybe it wasn't just brute force. Maybe the people played a role. Imagine knowledge centralized in a priestly class. Engineers, astronomers, stoneworkers, a small protected group. Keepers of knowledge, controlling the population, preserving secrets. A dangerous game. If a single class holds all the keys, when they vanish, through war, plague, collapse, the knowledge goes with them. History is full of these moments. The Library of Alexandria, the Mayan scribes. If Puma Punku's builders centralized their science, that explains why no one carried it forward. The Tiwanaku inherited the stones, not the secrets, like stumbling upon a crashed spaceship. Another possibility, migration. Not wiped out, scattered. Survivors carried knowledge into new regions, planting seeds that grew into myths, technologies, building styles, comparing Puma Punku to other megalithic sites. Egypt, Lebanon, Turkey, Peru. The similarities? Eerie, perfectly. Cut stones. Massive blocks transported impossibly. Astronomical alignments. Echoes of a unified knowledge system. Fragmented after an ancient disaster. Andean legends speak of Viracocha, a bearded godlike figure, appeared after a great flood, taught survivors arts like farming and building, a mythologized memory of Puma Punku's engineers. Survivors became wanderers, diluted knowledge into folklore. Tandifo, tantalizing idea. The out-of-place precision at Baalbek or Göbekli Tepe isn't coincidence. The faint fingerprints of a lost world civilization, fractured and faded, leaving whispers in stone. This leads to a scarier possibility. Maybe history isn't a straight line. Maybe it's a cycle. We think of human history as a ladder. Cavemen, farmers, cities, spaceflight. What if it's a sawtooth? Sharp rises, catastrophic falls, forgotten peaks. Archaeologists admit the timeline keeps getting pushed back. Göbekli Tepe forced us to recognize organized religion, astronomy, and monumental construction. Existed earlier than we thought. Advanced metallurgy in prehistoric India pushed back complex chemistry. Puma Punku? Another reminder we've hit these peaks before. and lost them. This explains the silence. No tools, records, manuals. Civilizations collapse hard. If modern society fell tomorrow, how long before skyscrapers crumbled and our achievements became rusted ruins? 1,000 years from now, could survivors rebuild a jet engine, or would they be carving wood and stone, slowly climbing back up the ladder? Puma Punku may be proof this cycle has already played out, and here lies the paradox. The AI solves one mystery. Yes, Puma Punku was engineered, standardized, scientifically aligned, but it opens a deeper mystery. How can such brilliance vanish so completely? A civilization embedding astronomical cycles into stone should have left behind metal tools, workshops, written records. But aside from the ruins, there is only silence. That silence is deafening. Civilizations are fragile. Knowledge can be erased. All that remains are enigmatic monuments, a monument or a warning. What if Puma Punku isn't just a ruin, but a warning? The AI found alignments corresponding to long cosmic cycles. Cometary returns, solar flares, climate shifts. If the builders were tracking these, maybe the site was designed for survival. A giant stone-encoded warning system. Watch the skies. This will happen again. The uncomfortable thought, their own end wasn't just tragedy. It was inevitability. If these cycles repeat, what does that mean for us? Are we in the path of the same forces? In the end, Puma Punku does more than rewrite the past. It opens a mirror onto the future. Brilliance doesn't guarantee survival. Extraordinary knowledge can vanish overnight. History may not be a steady climb. It may be a repeating cycle of rise, brilliance, collapse, and silence. What cycle are we in now, rising at our peak, teetering at the edge of another fall? Also, what knowledge did they forget? What warnings lie encoded in their geometry? Will we listen in time? Or are we just another brief flash in human history?